So look at this right here. The Americans married by age 30. So in 1975, 91% of women were married. 91% were married in 1975. Now it's 25%. So you've had more than a 50% drop in marriage. Like this is, I mean, this is crazy. That's insane. If you look at this much of a drop off, this much of a fall off, oh my fucking God. So anyway, look at men are at 81%. So men are always going to be lower for obvious reasons. But you look at right here, 37%. And then at 2025, 16% of men are married now. Only 16% by age 30. That is fucking crazy. So is it religious intermingling? So why is this happening? I mean, I think that there's a lot of reasons why it happens. Like what caused this? So let's see what people are saying. And my great-grandfather, 7 kids. My grandfather, 4 kids. My father, 2 kids. Me, a cat. My cat is now neutered. Oh no. It's the end, right? So why did this happen? I mean, I think, like, I mean, everybody has a different reason for, like, not getting married. I think that nowadays, one of the big reasons why it's so low, because you look at how fast it went down. You have it go from, like, 77 to, like, I guess 50. Well, I guess actually that's about the same drop. But either way, you have it drop so much, I think, right now. It's because of technology. I think that's a big reason. I think also, like, culturally, it's harder to spend money. Like, you know, you go out on a date, and this is, like, probably, like, I saw something that said a millennial date is, like, 200 and something dollars in order to go out, right? And so, anyway, 1970 says an awful economy, bro. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. Lots of people are common law, which is like being married. Yeah, but that's not being married, right? It's obviously not. I'm engaged in my 30s. Women are absolute trash, and it took forever to find one. Reagan, no fault divorce. I mean, I do think that allowing people to get easy divorces, I mean, like, do we want to go back to the days where the way to get a divorce is to kill your spouse, right? I mean, because that's what they used to do. And, like, that was, like, kind of, you know, like the get out of jail, well, I mean, ironically, get out of jail free card is, like, how do you get out of a marriage that you don't like? Well, you kill your spouse, right? That's the solution. And so, sounds good. Yes, definitely. But anyway, I don't really know. I do think that, like, divorce being super easy to do and marriage and everything, I think that overall, like, right now, there is a lot of people on the internet that, and I think that the internet kind of, like, it elevates this more than it actually is that people on the internet, like, there's a lot of gender wars and, like, men versus women. Women are bad, men are bad, right? I mean, like, women are whores, men are rapists, like, everything, right? And so you have these things going on, but the reality is that if you go outside and you, like, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for, like, you know, what my opinions are and my friends are. Every single guy that I know is married, basically. Either some of them are divorced, okay, to be fair. But they have all been married except for, like, I'm not even kidding you, like, one person. Like, if I really have to think about this, like, same, yeah. And so, like, because I grew up, like, I mean, I grew up in a time where, you know, half of my friends were online, half weren't. And just overall, statistics should be by age 35 by nowadays. Yeah, I would say so. You? Well, no, I mean, besides me, right? Besides me. Like, my friend Eric isn't married. He's just been engaged to the same girl that he's been dating for 12 years, okay? So, I don't know what that means. I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea. Why don't you marry her? Look, guys, who the fuck knows? But yeah, that's the one that I'm counting that isn't married, okay? He's smart. If no, you're not smart. Like, if it doesn't matter, it's not it. They're both doing very well. Don't let his girl see this. Yeah, right. And he's just leasing. Yeah, it's a pretty long lease, and that's like a rent to own type thing, right? And so doesn't want to commit. Maybe I really have no idea. He's got tons of money now too. He's like he works in IT, and so he's doing very well financially. And so anyway, So he's the only person I know that isn't married. Everybody else that I know has either been married or ended up, like, or still is married, right? So I find it to be kind of odd that, like, the numbers are so low. I really do. That's an insane 16%, which is weird to me because, as I said, everybody that I know is basically married. But to be fair, I mean, I'm 35, right? So my friends have been usually about 30 for like 5 years. How many of them were married by 30? I would say like 60%, 70%, something like that. So maybe I just have like a unique sample size, but that's about it. Are they Catholics? No, I think that, like, you have a pretty big, like, I would say that it's generally between Christian, Catholic, and atheist or agnostic. Like, that would be pretty much the majority. Yeah, I'd say so, definitely. Maybe a couple of, friends that I have that are Muslim, but they're also married too. So yeah, you can correlate it to online-only socialization. Well, I was going to say that, but I don't think that you're right. Because look at these number disparities. 1985, 2005, everybody wasn't online. Like, 2005, most people still didn't have the internet in their home. Let me just look this up and make sure that my general statement is true. In 2005, what percentage of households had the internet? I'm going to say 30 to 40%. Probably closer to 30%. Wow. Internet access. Internet access is very different, right? Households, is this internet access lived in a household? Oh, with internet access. Okay. So no, wow, I guess I underestimated. I dramatically did. And so I guess we lived in a working class neighborhood, so people couldn't afford the internet, right? So, a little bit off on that one. So that's why I looked. And anyway, it was on dial-up, though. And so, anyway, the reason why I think is, like, 2005, you didn't have a lot of dating websites, right? Like, I mean, I remember, like, there was this really big, like, love movie, and it was called You've Got Mail. And it was, like, about two people that were emailing each other back and forth, and they fell in love. And this was, like, a crazy, like, this story was, like, her for, like, 2003 or something like that. Where it's like, okay, well, now that's normalized. Whereas, like, people were like, well, Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with a fucking robot? There's no way that's gonna happen, right? There's no way that people are just gonna start dating a robot. What's up, S-Fan? And so, yeah. And so I think that's really the difference, right? 3 weeks AOL. Do you guys remember in Blockbuster where you would get the AOL CDs? I remember I was in middle school and we would take the CDs and you would go to Blockbuster. It was the pipeline, right? And so this is the pipeline, right? Okay, so you have right here, let me see if I can find it. Am I the only one? Blockbuster. Home. What is this here? Yeah, I mean, it's this. Am I the only one, guys? Surely I'm not the only guy, right? I mean, come on. It made cool colors? Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? So school to prison? Yeah, and then you go to jail. Right, exactly. And forgot Frisbees? Yeah, I don't even know if we did that. And Netscape CDs as well. Well, anyway, so I think that a lot of people stopped getting married because, number one, I think that there's a lot of, like, kind of narratives about, like, marriage. Like, somebody gets, like, my dad would tell me about, how annoying it was that, my dad had, like, he had to give over, like, this is in, like, the 1990s, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars to, like, my mom. Whenever he got divorced, because, like, my dad made a lot of money, and so he's like, can you imagine, having all your money cut in half just to give it to Shell, which is my mom, for her to sit on her fucking ass and smoke cigarettes and play video games and do fucking nothing? Meanwhile, I bust my ass going to work every day, right? The man always loses, exactly. And so, anyway, that's what it was. And so, net zero, too. And then she wasted all the money, by the way. She wasted all of the money on, like, fucking, you know, fucking candy. Like she didn't get a job for like 50, like basically she went from basically living off, like being married to my dad, living off of my dad. Well, first she lived as an adult with her dad, my grandfather, Grampy. She was living with Grampy, and then finally my dad then picks her up and takes her to his house, and then she's living in his house, and then they get divorced. Then she's living on his money. Then after that runs out, then she's living on the government's money. And then after the government money runs out, then she's living on my money. That was it. That's the entire thing. That was the whole time. Classic women. Exactly. What a life. And yeah, where's the dowry? I wonder. And yeah, honestly, like my grandpa was actually very, oh geez, like I don't even know if I want to say that, never mind. Because I know some of my other extended family might hear this. But anyway, what is this here? You see Trump is suspending federal gas taxes? No, I didn't see that. Is it another way to like make gas prices go down? Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a good thing for sure. And say it? Okay, well, some of the different older people, like, you know, fucking my great aunt liked my dad more than my mom, even though my mom was their family. They did. They overwhelmingly liked my dad more. And so that's really what it was. Because they were mad because my mom wouldn't fucking do it. She wouldn't get a job. She wouldn't do shit. All she wanted to do is sit around and do art and write poetry and smoke weed and play video games. And like at the time, she didn't have video games. So it was just smoking weed and doing poetry. Video games came in and it was like, holy shit. Where have you been all my life? And so that was it, man. And mom was a degen, she was. And anyway, we have that in my family. My brother's the black sheep in my family. Yeah, definitely. And anyway, so yeah, I do think that definitely there's like a generational trauma with like people that don't want to get married because their parents got divorced, and then their parents had like a messy divorce or a problematic divorce, and it caused them to think like, okay, well, you know, I don't want to get married because I know how it turned out with my parents, and like I don't want to have that happen to me. I'll be honest, like that thought has crossed my mind many times, especially when I was younger. Like I was thinking to myself, like my parents were married for like 20 years or something like that, and then they got divorced. It's like, can you imagine having to deal with that? You're locked in for 20 years and then things change. Holy fuck, man, that would be so upsetting. That would be awful. So I think that's another big reason why there's less marriages. And I think that you obviously have like all the normal reasons, like all men are fuckboys, all women are OnlyFans girls, all women do is eat hot chip and lie, you know, all men do is play video games and lie. Like I do think that like internet gender dynamics have made it worse, but like from 1985 to 2005 it was the same drop off than from 2005 to 2025. Just look at the numbers here. Actually, it was a bigger drop off from 85 to 2005. So really I don't really think it's it's not that big of a thing, right? And prom also, porn. Yeah, I think having online porn helps a lot, right? You don't need to think about real women whenever you can just you know, jerk off to fake ones. Definitely. So hot chip and lie is accurate, though. I know. We know. Everybody knows. And so gold diggers, I don't think that a lot of women, I feel like this is something that a lot of guys, I think, have like an unrealistic like fear of, that women want to date men just for the money. I think that a lot of women want to date men that are financially secure. Now, why is that? It's because that their great times, you know, to the power of infinity ancestor, you know, the cave woman decided to mate with the guy that was able to actually catch the deer. And the guy that was able to catch the deer had enough meat to feed the family, so their kids didn't die, and those kids are your great ancestors. So I think that there's a lot of like evolutionary selection process that, yes, women are obviously going to, and also, like, by the way, if you're a woman and you get pregnant, you are like massively debuffed. Like being pregnant is like a crazy debuff. And it's not just because they go crazy every once in a while. They do that anyway. Well, I guess they pregnant, they do it more, right? That's what I hear at least. And so, no, I think the real reason, here's the real reason, is that like if you're a woman and you get pregnant, like how the fuck are you going to take care of yourself? Imagine being a single woman with, you know, having to go to a job all the time and you're trying to carry a child. It's horrible. So obviously, I think that women are going to want to be taken care of and have a man provide for them. I think that makes sense. It does. So my wife's writing right now. Yeah, exactly. Then the postpartum. Yeah. And so you become handicapped? It is. It's a huge handicap. Being a dad is a debuff too. Being a dad is a debuff, but it's the same debuff as being a mom. Whereas being pregnant is a debuff that men, I know, this isn't very woke of me to say this. It's not woke, but men can't get pregnant. Oh, what? No way! Yep, that's right. Men can't get pregnant. Yeah, I know, guys. You can't do it. And it's fucking awesome. Reported. Yes, it's nuts. So I feel like wrong. We can soon. No, that's whenever you get a like a robot womb or like a, you know, electronic or something like that. And so anyway, not with that attitude. Well, I mean, if you want to keep trying, be my guest. And so just don't tell me about it. So yeah, I think that's also another reason. And so, yeah, of course it makes sense that like women are going to want to have a man that's financially stable. But I think that if a guy is financially stable and he's able to take care of himself, I do think that like there's a huge drop off. Like if you're making like, let's say, you know, $100K a year, which is like, by the way, that's not even a crazy amount of money anymore. Like, let's say you're making that amount of money. The odds are that like 90% of women aren't going to break up with you to date a guy that's like richer than you are for that one reason. I just don't think that. And like, that's just, again, this is my experience from what I've seen, from what I've experienced, from what I've heard, right? So not everybody's going to agree with it. I understand that, but that's what I've noticed all this time. And how much is stable? Well, it depends on where you live, right? I mean, if you live in Arkansas, it's probably fucking $60,000 a year. If you're living in San Francisco, it's $260,000 a year, right? I mean, it depends. But like, I would say general for whatever the reasonable amount of money to take care of a family would be there, right? So that's it. Titles are different. Being a mom and dad are different. It's growing life comparable to being sick, maybe. I don't know. And yeah, even when a man's financially stable, the women will still cheat. I mean, men cheat too all the time. I mean, it's not even like, look, I know that we want to talk about how women are useless. And I did make a tweet yesterday. This is a big tweet for me, okay? I said, so do you remember whenever I was talking about this the other day? And nobody else was saying it. I was the only person saying this. And I said that I thought that AI was going to remove overwhelmingly women's jobs. Then 3 or 4 days later, everybody's talking about it. That's it. A little out of touch with that comment. Right. Too many fake jobs were invented to create artificial parity between men and women in the workforce. AI fixes this problem. Hopefully, after this is over, women can go back to doing what they do best, being a mother or being a prostitute. And so, I'll make posts like this, right? And by the way, I do want to say that, 5,000 years ago, I know what the most popular profession for a woman was. And today, I also know what the most popular and most well-paying profession for a woman is if they're young, right? And so that's crazy. What are the odds of that? And for a man, it's changed. For women, it hasn't. So that's it. Last part. Yeah. Last part. How many people did you piss off? I don't know. I'm not reading their comments. I just make these posts. Maybe I'll see like one reply. Other than that, I don't really pay attention to it or look into it at all. U.S. rejects UN migration forum, accusing it of promoting replacement immigration. Yeah, they should. Absolutely. 100% they should. Good. You aren't even devaluing women by saying this? No, I'm not. I'm saying that, again, and there's nothing, in my opinion, nothing sexist about what I said. It's just an objective fact. if you're a male prostitute versus a female prostitute, which one has more attention? Which one do people want more? Well, I wonder how many girls on OnlyFans are there versus how many guys on OnlyFans are there? Well, every woman is every mother is a woman, right? I mean, like, there you go. So obviously women can do that better. They're the only ones that can do it. So it just makes sense, right? It does. It just makes sense. But you know, again, the way that I say things, I will always choose the red combat dialogue option whenever I discuss these things. And I think it's funny, right? The battle of the sexes will end in a field of infertility. Well, I think that's already happened.